The Orange County Forum is a nonprofit organization. Your contributions are tax deductible.
Today's panel consists of Chancellor Gary Braum, the Chancellor and CEO of Brandman University, President Daniele Strupa, Chapman University, and President Kurt Kruger from Concordia University. Please welcome them.
So let me start. Brandman University actually started as part of Chapman in 1958, starting at the El Toro base, teaching classes to the military. In 2006, 2007, we were looking at what would really help make our students more successful. Chapman, the needs of traditional students are very different than the needs of non-traditional students who might be military, who are working, who have a family, and who don't have the advantages of going right from high school into college. And so at that time, we looked at what would we do in order to enable our non-traditional students to have all the advantages the Chapman values on quality and student success. And we decided the best approach to do that would be to take University College and to make it a separate, nonprofit, regionally accredited institution. So in 2009, we became Brandman University, the first member of the Chapman University system, actually the only member of the Chapman University system.
Let's not be specific.
No, not too specific. So far. So we have 12,000 students. We serve a very unique student body. We have 28 campuses. Of those campuses, 6 of them are still on military bases. 4 of them are co-located with community colleges. 44% of our students come from underrepresented groups. 45% receive Pell Grants, which means they're high-need students. 49% are first generation. So we serve students that haven't had the opportunities to really get an education. 24% are still active military or veterans. So we serve a student body that doesn't typically graduate at high rates, but our students do, and it's because we have adopted best practices when we became Brandman University to serve our students better, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. And so, we think that best practices and innovation are crucially important, especially in non-traditional higher education where things are moving so rapidly.
Very nice. Good afternoon. My name is Kurt Krieger, and I'm the president of Concordia University in Irvine. Concordia is a Christian school, a Lutheran school. We are located in the Turtle Rock Village area, a beautiful campus overlooking much of the city of Irvine. This fall we have 4,300 students, and we offer programs at the bachelor's, the master's, and the doctoral level. As a Lutheran university, Concordia is affiliated with the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. It's a conservative church body with about 2.5 million members nationwide. And this church body, the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, operates a system of schools, which is the largest Protestant system of schools in the country. So the Lutheran Church oversees 2 seminaries, both called Concordia. The church oversees 10 universities, all called Concordia, including Concordia Irvine. The church oversees 90 Lutheran high schools, including Orange Lutheran, your neighbor in the city of Orange, and Crean Lutheran High School in Irvine. The church also oversees 850 elementary schools and about 1,000 preschools. All of these schools have a couple things in common. Number one, we provide a Christian worldview, which means that we teach our students and model our students to love God and to serve their neighbor. It gives you a little flavor of the kind of organization, the kind of organization that we are a member of, and we're very proud to be associated with Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. We pride ourselves in offering a holistic education for our students at Concordia Irvine, which means that we're concerned about educating our students academically, socially, and we also want to see them grow spiritually. We feature small classes. Our average class size is about 22 students per class. We want our students to have very close relationships with our faculty and staff, thus our small class sizes. And we also encourage faculty to engage in research with our students. So that's maybe enough of an introduction, and we'll have more to say later.
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm Daniele Struppa, and I'm the president of Chapman University. I joined Chapman in 2006 when Gary was the CEO. So we worked together for the first year and a half. We developed a friendship that has withstood the test of time. And I became the president last September. So I've been president only for a year and a month. Very exciting year, actually, for the history of Chapman University. We have about 8,500 students. About 6,500 are undergraduate, and 2,000 students are graduate students. And we have two campuses. The one that you're probably most familiar with is in Orange, and it's a comprehensive campus, so we have both undergraduate and graduate there. We have a law school, a business school, the Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, which is one of the top film schools in the nation. And then we have a health sciences graduate campus in Irvine, the Rinker Health Sciences campus. And that's where we have all of our professional programs in the health sciences. I see here we have the dean of our School of Pharmacy, Ron Jordan, and sitting next to him, with one jump, so next to him is one of our trustees, Mark Chapin Johnson, and then Janine Hill, who is the dean of our Crean College of Health and Behavioral Sciences. We pride ourselves with being really a student-centered institution. It's something that every university should be. Everybody claims to be. I think very few universities really are. For us, the focus of every single decision that we make every single day is whether the decision is good for our students. That's what our trustees hold up to. They require that we always investigate what is best for our students. And we believe that if I have to summarize very quickly what the philosophical background that we want for our students is, we believe in the importance of training students through the research that they can do with our faculty. So we have a very aggressive model, and maybe we'll talk about it later, of undergraduate research, because we believe that that's the best way for students to develop that critical thinking skills that are going to serve them whatever kind of job they're going to have. And I'll stop here.
Great, thank you. President Struppa, since today's title is Competition and Innovation in the OC Private Schools, how do you believe that your college keeps pace with our changing world, all the innovation that's occurring?
Well, I was happy to hear in the introduction that we had before that the landscape is a tough landscape. You know, enrollments are under pressure, tuition discount is growing among most universities, so you see universities struggling to get the budget in and the number of students in, and frankly, Chapman is completely operating a reverse trend. This year, our goal was to have 1,612 students, and we had more than 1,700. So we really are acquiring a set of pitchforks to keep the students out of the classes. It's a tremendous success. Our yield, which is the number of students that decide to come at the university after their admitted, is going up. Our MELT, which is the percentage of students that after accepting decide not to come, is going down, and that's resulted in this very successful class. Why is that? That's a question. I think that there are several components. I mentioned before this attention that we pay to the individual student. I was speaking before with a mom of one of our students. Here she is, and former students, I should say. And I think that anybody who had their kids at Chapman will tell you that we pay tremendous attention to the individual. We work with them, we connect with them, that they know their professor, they know their administrators. That makes it for an environment that is really very positive, and students are our best form of advertising. They go around, they talk to other kids, they talk to other parents. Second, I think we really deal very vigorously with the issue that you raised of the changing landscape and what do you need to be successful in the world of work. We have curriculum that is designed to be responsive to these changes. I'm just going to give 3 quick examples because we don't have the entire day, but we have developed a new degree in data science and analytics, for example. Data science and analytics is central to every kind of business, and we have that in our Schmidt College of Science. We have developed a degree in digital art. We have a fantastic film school, but it's not just about the traditional film. It's about the new media, and in particular digital. We discovered there was a niche between business and communication, and we developed a degree which is probably the most successful undergraduate degree we have now, which is strategic and corporate communication. And finally, I said it before, and I'll mention just a couple of words about that. What we believe is that jobs are going to be changing all the time. You can't train now the student for the job that they will have 20 years, 10 years, 5 years from now. What you can train them for is to be able to adapt to the new jobs. And to be able to adapt, you need to be able to be a real, strong, critical thinker, somebody that can learn and continue to learn. And we believe that putting our students in the classroom with faculty who are engaged in significant research and having the student do the research with the faculty develops exactly those skills. There is nothing like being given a problem that nobody has been able to address so far to develop those capabilities in the students. And they don't do it by themselves. They do it with older students, they do it with young graduate students, they do it with their faculty, but they ensures that once they leave the university, they really have a preparation that is superb.
Great, thank you. President Kruger, how is your college handling that?
Yeah, thank you. Because things change so rapidly and because it's difficult to train a student for a job that might not even exist today, we say that we anchor our undergraduates in what we call our core curriculum. It's a great books approach to undergraduate education. We call this core curriculum enduring questions and ideas. And we ask our students the first 2 years of their study at Concordia to address some of these questions. And we believe that by answering these questions, by struggling with these questions, our students will be prepared to do almost anything that the world throws at them 5, 10, 15 years from now. So one of the questions that we have our students wrestle with is, what is my vocation? Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose in the world? What is eloquence? How can I be persuasive? How can I learn those communication skills, both oral and written, which will help me explain my position to other people? What is art? What's the difference between art and propaganda? What is effective art? What is the purpose of art in a person's life? How do I understand nature? What's my responsibility toward the world that God has created? How should I function as a citizen in this society in terms of taking care of the world that we have been given? Who am I and who are they? What's my relationship to the variety of people that I encounter in my life here in Orange County and frankly around the world? And then since we're a Christian university, we also ask students to address this question. It's actually a question that Jesus Christ posed to his disciple, Simon Peter. He said, "Peter, who do you say that I am? Who do you say that I am?" And Peter responds, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." Who is Jesus? And what difference does it make? We want our students to wrestle with that question. Not all of our students are Christians coming in, but we want all of our students to answer that question. Who is Jesus Christ, this man who has had such an influence over the world in the last 2,000 years, and what difference does it make?
Great, thank you. Chancellor Braum, let's talk a little bit about your school. Certainly you deal with a more non-traditional group of students, and you really have been a leader in innovation and how you give the education. So could you talk a little bit about that,
Sure.
please?
Sure. Our students have a little bit more of a practical need for an education. I think there's about 35 million people in the country who have some education but no degree.
Mm-hmm.
And so they weren't successful in their initial tries. There are a lot more potential students who just don't have the advantages that allow them to go to these fine institutions. And so we have to give our students a lot more support and do a lot more to help make them successful. And so, our vision is to be the recognized leader in the evolution of adult learning. So rather than keep pace, we actually try to lead change. And so let me just give you an idea of some of the things that we've done in adopting best practices and innovations to make our students successful. All of our students receive coaching. Coaching enables them to help prioritize what's going on in their lives so they can focus on education. A lot of them are working and they have families, and just making the time for them to get done what's really important to themselves is key. If you think executives need coaching, well, students need it even more. We have an advising model where a student is assigned their own advisor their entire time at the institution. So these non-traditional students have a lot going on. Maybe they'll miss a class. Maybe they have to do something in the summer, whatever. Our advisors stay with them. They know them. They keep them on track. And that's really important in their success as well. Something as practical as dealing with your financial aid and your student accounts and everything else can become a real issue for our students because they're so busy. We have one-stop student advisors, so that way they just call one person and they can handle everything from financial aid to student accounts and everything else and take care of the administrative stuff, which will stop certain students as they're trying to get their degree. Sometimes our students have a lot going on in their lives and they can't take an on-ground class, so they can take an online class. Our students have the ability to take a class on ground or online, whichever they prefer. And so that enables them, if they have family responsibilities in the summer when the kids are home, well, then they can take online classes. If they're traveling, they can take online classes. If they want to take stats on ground, they can take stats on ground. Again, that is important, and you just never know which one of these practices will end up being the one that stops them from being able to continue to get their degree. All of our on-ground classes are taught blended. So typically you need 45 contact hours for a 3-unit class. And so if you take one of our 3-unit classes on ground, you'll go 3 hours one night a week for 8 weeks, or 24 contact hours, and you'll take 21 hours online. Again, blended learning was recognized by the Department of Education as a best practice, especially for non-traditional students. And so we have converted all of our on-ground classes to be taught blended. Again, a big advantage because it's a better modality for the students and it helps them when many of them don't have time, but it's actually superior in receiving an education as well. All of our what we teach our students, the competencies that they learn are validated by employers. We work with employers. We ask employers, what's really important for our students to know? And sometimes they're hiring these students, or sometimes these students are already working for them. And so we really value the input from employers in designing our programs. We aren't embarrassed by it. We aren't as theoretical, but our students don't need that. Our students want something that helps them get a job or keep a job or get a promotion, and we think that's really important. A lot of our faculty are professionals in the field. Again, professionals in the field are providing a more timely, relevant education to our type students. So they aside from knowing what's going on, they also provide context to our students as well. So again, we think that's really important. Our students have access to online writing and math communities for tutorial help because they come from a variety of backgrounds. And we have an automated process where they can work their way through all the way up to individual tutoring as they need it, because students coming from different backgrounds come with different ability levels and different amounts of, not everybody has the advantages of going to great Orange County schools. And we do an 8-week term. Again, our students can focus more in an 8-week term. It's again proven to be better for non-traditional students. They only take half as many classes. Taking half as many classes and focusing more in an 8-week term is also really important. And so how do we measure our success and do these best practices work? Well, our students graduate. I mean, the latest numbers that are going to be published by the Department of Education, people who go to Brandman full-time, most of their transfers, they transfer into Brandman full-time because we work with community colleges, over 80% graduate. And our default rate is just 4%, so I know many of us don't talk default rates, but it's lower than most of the Cal State system. And so they get a value out of their education that allows them to pay back the cost of that education. That sounds like it's common sense, but that's really important to us. It's really important to our students. And part of that is making sure they get the support to graduate. And as I said, we serve a group of students that typically don't graduate at a very high rate. Ours do and can pay back their loans. And so that's how we really measure our success. And so that is how we are kind of leading innovation.
Great, thank you. President Kruger, I think you've all kind of touched on this a little bit, but what we're looking at is how are your graduates meeting the needs of the business community?
So I would answer that in this way. At Concordia, we emphasize two things. We would like to graduate students who have high ethical standards and who have the hearts of servant leaders. Yes, we teach those skills that we've all been talking about, critical thinking, clear communication, the ability to use quantitative analysis. And yes, we teach very practical skills in the field of business, accounting skills, finance skills, economics, sales and management. What I would hope that really characterizes a Concordia graduate is that he or she can act ethically and wants to serve others, serve colleagues, serve managers, serve customer service, right? Kind of on steroids. To us, this is the way that we can add value to the business community in Orange County and elsewhere.
Great, thank you. President Strupe, will you address how how Chapman
Sure.
is handling the business community and what your
Concordia.
graduates are doing?
I can say good things about every one of the gentlemen here. In fact, I want
like to speak to them.
I want to make a comment about what Gary said before because he gave a lot of information. There is one particular thing that I hope was captured. He talked about an 80% graduation rate. That is something that is absolutely astonishing because this is a group of students that really struggle because of family, because of background, because of a variety of reasons, and that really is something that Brandman should be extremely proud of. And you said lots of good stuff, but this to me is the one that really needs to be emphasized. What about Chapman? Well, we have great professional programs, for one thing. I mentioned before the School of Pharmacy, which is on its way to becoming one of the best school of pharmacy in the country. And I mentioned before the Green College, and they have, for example, a physician assistant program, which is a program that is so desperately needed in the community because physician assistants are going to be really the first line of contact for patients. And the only sad thing is we don't have enough room to admit as many students that are applying. Janine this year admitted 8% of the applicants to the school. So it tells you the kind of quality of the product. So our business school is ranked the best undergraduate business school in California. And the ranking comes from employees who rate our students and the quality of what our students provide. If anyone in this room has ever hired a Chapman student, they will be my witnesses how successful they are. And then, as I said before, the kind of education we offer really is designed to make them successful employees. I'll give an example. I'm a mathematician. When I got my degree in math, I would not have been able to change a light bulb. Great theoretical mathematician, really fancy stuff. Don't ask me to apply to anything. I've changed over the years, but this was me as coming out of school. I still don't change the light bulbs, but I can do a lot of fancy stuff that is applicable. Now let's go to the Schmidt College of Science and Technology at Chapman University. We have a program that every student has to go through, which is called the Grand Challenges program. This means that if you are a major in math or computer science or chemistry or biology or remote sensing or data sciences, at the very beginning, your first year, you get embedded in a group that has to work on a major challenge. And a major challenge could be understanding diabetes. It could be infrastructure, civil infrastructure in the country. It could be drug use. It could be proteomics and cancer. These teams are interdisciplinary. So unlike what I experienced as a kid, now the young mathematician is together with two biologists and a chemist and somebody from health sciences. So the team is integrated across discipline. It's also vertically integrated. So the student who is a freshman is working together with some sophomores and juniors and young professors. So now they learn really, which is what is useful when they get a job, they learn how to deal with significant problems. They learn how to work in groups. They learn how to reach out to disciplines which are not their discipline. So the mathematician needs to understand enough biochemistry so that he can make a significant contribution to the understanding of what diabetes does. And they need to learn to work for people who are more advanced with more seniority, because now I'm a freshman, I'm working with a junior. But in a couple of years, I will learn how to work with the freshmen that are coming in. So it's not about what they learn about diabetes, because they may never get a job in the diabetes industry, but it's what they learn about becoming real members of a learning intellectual community. I think that that's invaluable, and that I think is the major contribution that Chapman is bringing to the community.
Great, thank you. Brandman, you're addressing the needs of the business community. Tell us how.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what we try to do. Obviously, we work very closely with the business community. We work with advisory boards. A key element of that is we really listen to the advisory boards. If we are launching a new program, we will talk to HR professionals to make sure it's relevant, to make sure what we're teaching is what they're looking for. We think it's really important that as our students go through the program, that they can immediately apply what they learn.
Let's thank Chancellor Brahm, President Strupa, and President Kruger. Let's give them another round of applause.
That was fun.
And I would like to thank Jayne Ruane, who did a fantastic job as our moderators. Thank you. We appreciate the continued coverage of our Orange County Forum programs that are recorded each month by Charter Communications and prepared for broadcast on local television, including Spectrum, Cox, and PBS SoCal. I also want to extend a special thank you to Veterans First OC for a continued volunteer effort at our events. I also want to say valet is included today's event. Just mention OC Forum at the valet station, so that'll be taken care of. And the last thing I'll leave you with is our gubernatorial breakfast series will continue next month. We've had 2 so far. We're going to be hosting John Chung on October 27th. Location will be announced fairly soon. And our next scheduled programs will be announced via social media and email. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
The Orange County Forum is a nonprofit organization. Your contributions are tax deductible.